can't sleep or she can't sleep because of the problem with their patient? Or how about a teacher who's given up all this money? Teachers are the most underpaid people in the United States of America, okay? Or as I've been talking lately, does this change the world? There's a woman who was married for 50 years. Her husband dies. No one calls her anymore. So on Monday, you call her and you say, this Saturday night, we're taking you out to dinner. You know what she does on Thursday? Where does she go? That's exactly right. She goes to the hairdresser. And then she gets her hair, I don't know how they do it, but they get their hair so that it never gets ruined from that trip to the hairdresser. Okay? And then on Saturday night, she's wearing a dress she hadn't worn in 6 months. Is that changing the world? I think it is. And that's what we need to do to revive the spirit of America. I see another hand. Yes, ma'am, right here. Right here.
You do not tear down any of the other candidates the way that they do with each other. And what's going to happen, they all need their mouth washed out with soap.
Did you know my mother? I mean, it's really interesting. All right, go here. Hey, I can't go to him. He's wearing a Cardinals hat. You can forget. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Governor Kasich. Can you talk about your specific plans to update Social Security?
Yeah, Social Security. Sure, Social Security can be fixed. If you've been wealthy throughout your life, you're still going to get Social Security. It just won't be as much. And the people who really depend on it, who check it every month, they will get what's coming to them, and that will fix the system forever. And we just have to have the will to get it done. Now, let me tell you that there's not just, we got some really smart legislators here, and I love them because we work together and we have a great time, and sometimes they're mad at me, okay, but then they get over it, and I get mad at them, and I get over it, but here's what we know. Some of the big things we have to do, they cannot be done unless we have members of the other party that support us. And I'll give you one good example in Ohio. A really good example in Ohio is fixing the pensions, to make sure that the pension system is going to last for the people in our state. You couldn't have just done that with Republicans. And you can't fix Social Security unless you have some members of the other party who say, okay, let's do it. And there's some compromise involved, but at the end of the day, you preserve the principle and you can fix this thing. And that would want to be something I'd want to get on the table within the first 100 days. Okay? Thank you. Right here.
Thank you, sir. Could you give me a little idea of the way to vote? And I vote. If in fact I vote for you, okay, and you win the state of Ohio, that makes it where the convention becomes quite possibly a contested thing. If I vote for Trump, who I don't really want, kind of a thing, it takes you out of the picture, kind of a thing. And so it's a double-edged sword. If I vote for you, I get shot in the foot. And if I vote for Trump, I get shot in the other foot. So I'm sure that I'm sure that
we were all wondering where you were going with this.
But it is, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that have that dilemma kind of a thing. And we don't want a contested convention because of the fact that we don't trust those boys in Washington.
Yeah, I don't either, by the way.
And so ultimately, how do we vote so that we vote intelligently, sir?
That's a really good question. So here's the situation. First of all, the thing that we really love about politics is what we think is true on Monday is almost never true on Tuesday. And we need to take things a step at a time, a day at a time. And my whole focus, it's been Michigan here lately and Mississippi, believe it or not. I've spent some time down there. I'll be going to Illinois tomorrow because that comes up on the same day as Ohio. And by the way, apparently I'm rising now in Illinois in the national polls and everything. So let's not prejudge what the outcome is going to be, but let's just say that we go to a convention, okay? I was at a convention as a very young man. I have to tell you, my life has been one lightning strike after another. So I had a boss that I was working for who was very close to Ronald Reagan. And he was out in Kansas City at that convention. And he called me and he said, could you come out here? I need help. So I flew out to Kansas City and I walked in the trailer, the command center for the entire Reagan campaign. There were about 15 people in there. And they looked at me and they said, hey kid, the guy that was supposed to run these 5 states for Governor Reagan is sick. Do you think you could run 5 states for Ronald Reagan? I had absolutely no idea what that meant. I said, absolutely, okay? So we had a convention, and it was very, very exciting. And Ronald Reagan lost. And Gerald Ford won, and he did the country a great service by getting the tragedy of Watergate behind us. And we left that convention in a very good way. Now, if you say to me, you're worried about smoke-filled rooms or people from Washington, it's not quite how a convention works. These are people like you who get elected as a delegate. And the delegates really